Funding for Pierre Franey's Cuisine Rapide is made possible by Caroline Importers Limited, Teaneck, New Jersey.
And now, Cuisine Rapide.
Welcome to my kitchen. I'm Pierre Franey. Today I'm going to cook crab. When I first came in this country, I knew about crab, but I was never introduced about crab meat. I remember a friend of mine, it was in 1939, took me to fishing. We went at night with traps, and we caught a lot of crab, and we got the meat. And when I saw the meat, I tell you very frankly, it was so delicious, so tender, so different what I have had, especially the lumps crab. Now, here we have lump crab. It's the best part of the crab meat, which is, I think, few pieces on each side. There's not that many. That's why it's so expensive. It costs maybe $18, $20 a pound. But you don't have to use that kind of crab meat if you want. You could use a lesser grade of crab meat, you see. It's come at different prices. But please, don't use canned crab meat. You got to use, processed crab meat who has been retold for a long time is not very good. Now, this crab meat comes from those crabs. That's blue crabs. And I tell you, I still go, I live in Long Island, I mentioned that many times, but I still go in the summertime, I go crab fishing myself. Okay? Now, this blue crab, like you see, they're very much alive. Now, we have different kind of crab. This is a snow crab. You could use that too. The crab meat is that meat is very good too, but it's a little cheaper, it's different. Here, we are on Dungeness crab. We come from the West Coast. And here, we have the king of the crab. That's something, the first one I saw one alive, I got scared, I go to Alaska sometimes fishing, and I was introduced. As a matter of fact, I went on a boat one time fishing for those crab. The king crab. This could be used too, but this is the meat comes from that part here. Now, to do this dish, and we have a classical French dish called Florentine. So it's something it's cooked with breast of chicken, and we could use a filet of sole or seafood, anything. It's a bed of spinach, and you put the crab meat over, or whatever the meat, the fish, whatever you use, and you make a cheese sauce that you put over, and you gratin it in the oven. So this is what I'm going to do now. As a matter of fact, when 1939, I said that when we first came here, we put that on the menu at the Pavilion restaurant. All right. And so what I need here, we got spinach. We got 1.25 pounds of spinach, which has been cleaned and dry. We have to make sure they remove the stems because that's very tough. And to cook it, we have to cook it. What I do here, we just put the spinach with nothing. I have a pan, we put nothing in here. All right? No salt, no pepper, nothing, just spinach. It's got to be very hot. We want to stir that a little bit here, a little bit. And after, we are going to cover that the moisture is going to come out. Just cover. Now, meanwhile it's cooking, it's very fast. I'm going to need, it's a cream sauce, a white sauce, which basically is a bechamel. Most of the people know how to do it. What I'm going to need is 3 tablespoons of butter, which I'm going to melt. And I'm going to look at my spinach, see what's happening to them. They're not quite good. All right, we're going to stir them. Okay. Put back the cover on it. Now, to this, I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of flour, You know, when you use a flour, make sure, when I say 3 tablespoons of flour, make sure it's even. You know, we don't want too much. It's got to be, you got to be right like this. That's 3 spoons of flour. You know, when I let a French chef, or let my French chef, when they come to my kitchen and we do recipe with them, I told them, how many tablespoons of flour you say? Oh, 3 tablespoons. And when I said, well, no, I think you put about 5 because the way you, so they can get used to it, to this, you know. So, okay. Now, spinach is doing very well. I'm going to cover that again. And I got a cup and 3/4 of milk and a third of a cup of cream. If you don't want heavy cream, if you don't want to use heavy cream, you don't have to do it. So I'm going to make the sauce. This is warm milk. It was warm. So you see it binds right away. I put some cayenne, about a 1/4 teaspoon, grated nutmeg, okay, a little bit. I love fresh nutmegs. Meanwhile, I'm going back here. Let's see what's happening with my spinach. I think they're ready. So while the sauce is cooking, I'm going to finish the spinach. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of butter in here, 2 tablespoons of finely chopped shallots, a little bit of salt and pepper on the spinach. I didn't put too much, I didn't put any before. I'm using white pepper here because it's a white sauce. So here we are. The sauce is made. You cook it for about 5 minutes. This is the base. I'm going to put 1 yolk of egg here. 1 yolk. See, I put the yolks of eggs right, not over the fire. We want to bind this very quickly with a whisk. We put 2 tablespoons of Gruyere or any kind of cheese you like, little dice. We bind this together. You got to taste it. A little more salt. I love cayenne, a little bit of cayenne, not too much. Okay, and that's done. Okay, now we're going to put these things together. I have a dish right here. I'm going to do some cleaning here. I'm going to put the spinach in the bottom. I'm going to scrape that in the bottom like this. You know, like I said before, you could put almost anything over the spinach. Anything, any kind of cooked meat you have left over, you know, something like chicken, turkey, or whatever. It's very good, you know, around Thanksgiving. If you have turkey left over, you dice it or you slice it, and you do this base or spinach base here, and you do exactly what I did here. So now I'm going to put the crab meat right over. I got some, like I say, I got some very good crab meat lumps. Now before you put it in over, you got to make sure, you know, there's no what do you call a shell or anything like that. So you look it over. You don't want to. This kind is very good, but I just found a little piece of shell, so you have to remove it. We put this right over this here. We kind of smooth it out a little bit like this here. over. And I preheat my oven at 350 degrees. So you preheat your oven, make sure to preheat your oven before for 350 degrees. And here I got that beautiful sauce, cheese sauce. I call that, this is a basic cheese sauce. So I'm going to spoon this over. I got a spoon here, yes. Okay. We want to make sure to spoon it over evenly and use everything. Okay, it smells good. I love the cheese flavor. And I tell you, when you bake this in the oven for 10 minutes at 350 degrees, and they're going to bind together, and all the flavor. I'm going to top this with Parmesan cheese. So about 2 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. And you bake this, like I said, 350 degrees in the oven. And so what we did here, I got some we made. I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'm going to put this one on top. I got one in the oven. It's been baking for 10 minutes, bubbling. And, oh boy, it smells good. You know, the flavor of the cheese, I tell you, is great. You see, it's bubbling like this. That's the way you should serve it when it's bubbling like this. Look at that, see? Still bubbling. All right, now I'm going to put that in here. Voila. And I'm going to show you what one serving look like. Look at it. Put a little more, put some crummy over like this. And put something brown over. I tell you, it smells great too. So this is one serving. This is for 4 serving. And I love that flavor, the combination of crab meat and cheese and spinach together. This is my first recipe for crab today.
Crab meat and spinach au gratin. Next up, behind the scenes. This time, Odo Bricky's Crab House. Not far from Baltimore's gleaming inner harbor, amid tidy row houses with scrub marble steps, stands O'Bricky's, a monument to this city's love affair with steamed crabs. For more than 50 years, the name O'Bricky's has been equated with tables covered with butcher paper piled high with spicy blue crabs. And now we join Pierre and owners Richard and Rose Cernak.
I remember the first time I came down here in O'Bricky, that was in 1977. And Richard, you were doing the cooking, and you were in the front of the house. So what's happening today?
Well, I'm still in the front of the house, and I'm fortunate enough now that all the children and their 2 spouses are involved in the business with us. And so we each have our job to do.
What about you, Richard? What are you doing?
Well, Pierre, I do anything that has to be done, but my big thing is planning on future expansion for the business. The steaming today is done by my son, Robert.
I see.
So if you want to see him, he's in the steam room right now.
I'm going to go see Robert, see what he's doing. Robbie, we're in a crab box now. What's happening in here?
Well, we have to sort the crabs out for different sizes.
I see.
These crabs are Maryland crabs. They just came in today. We get them. They were caught today also.
Yeah, I'm going to help you out, okay?
That'd be great.
This is a big one, I think, this one,
Yeah,
right?
big one.
So it goes over there?
Right up there.
All right, good.
Okay, also while I'm sorting through, I have to pull out the dead crabs.
How many percentage of wise you get the dead crab?
Right now, the percentage on death is about 10 to 15%, sometimes a little bit higher though.
What are they, female or male, those crabs?
These are all male crabs.
They're all male?
Yeah. In Maryland, people have kind of an aversion to eating female crabs.
Oh, yeah?
So, all we
Look at
carry
that
are
one.
males.
Come on, get off.
Males are called number 1 crabs.
Yeah.
Crabs are graded into 3 different groups.
So what's happening next now?
Well, after this, after we're all finished sorting, then we'll take them into the other room and ice them down.
I see. Well, I think we should go over there.
Okay.
So what's next, Robbie?
Well, right now we have to ice the crabs down.
Why are you doing that for?
Well, we ice the crabs down so they don't lose their claws. We're going to steam them next, and when they feel the steam, they'll feel the danger, and the reaction is to lose their claws.
Okay.
Okay?
So how long they stay in here?
They'll stay in the ice for about 10 to 15 minutes.
You know, it's been about 15 minutes in the ice, Robbie. So what's next time?
Now we have to put them in the pot. Okay.
I see.
We'll put a layer of crabs down first, and then once I fill up this layer, then you put a layer of seasoning
You put
in.
only one layer, right?
One layer, so all crabs have a layer of seasoning
I
on
see.
them. Okay, now we can put some seasoning on.
All right. That's it. This is a spice. That's a very good spice, right?
Yes, it is. It's our own.
All right. So I just what do I do? Spread them on top
Yeah.
like this?
That's good.
I see.
Okay, that's plenty.
All right. So that's fine. You know, you don't want to give me the recipe, I imagine.
No,
Why?
because that's what we built our business on.
I see.
It's our seasoning.
I know you got salt in there, you know, and I don't see anything reddish, so I don't think any paprika or red pepper. He's not talking, you know. He doesn't want to tell me, you know.
You could
right.
say what you want to say about
All right, okay. I'll put more spice in here. Someday, you tell me, I'm sure.
it. Okay, this will be it for the last layer.
So, a little more spices,
Yeah,
and that's it, huh?
that's it. Now bring them over here. Hook them up to the steamer. We use live steam, and it'll go on for 15 minutes.
15 minutes, no more than that.
That's it, 15 minutes. Okay, now they're done.
So, what do you have to do now?
Now what we do is put them on the tray, take them out, and you can eat them.
I see. Well, it sounds easy.
Wow.
Well, thank you very much, Robbie.
Thank you.
It's a new kind of cooking for me, and I really appreciate what you did.
I hope you enjoy them.
Thank you.
Spicy steamed Maryland crabs from Old O'Bricky's Crab House. Now back to Pierre in the kitchen.
My next recipe is going to be a crab meat and shrimp gumbo. I learned about that recipe when I went to New Orleans. I have so many friends over there, and I tasted. There's so many ways to do it that I decided to do my own style to it. But basically, that's style of Louisiana. Now, what we need some good crab meat. I have lump crab meats here, and we need some shrimps that I have right here. And I'm going to show you how to peel and devent those shrimp. I have a gadget here, which I discovered many years ago back in New York. And all you have to do, you push it through like this. You insert the tip of this gadget right here. And you push it through. You know, you have to go fast, you know, but I'm going slowly right now. And then here we are, we have a shrimp which has been peeled in the vein. I'm going to do another one to show you again. You picked up the shrimp like this, you put it, insert right in here, you push it through, and here you are. The shrimp is done. Very easy. Now sometimes if it doesn't come out like this one, you have to remove it by hand, but usually it works. Okay, now what we need here, we need a shrimp broth, which I made already. What we need here is the peel of the shrimp that we reserve, 3 cups of water, 6 black peppercorn, half a cup of onions, some celery stalk, 1 bay leaf, and salt. You bring that to a bowl and you simmer it for about 20 minutes. Now, here I got cabesha. It's a smoked sausage that I put right in here. Slice about a 1/4 inch thick or a little smaller, doesn't matter. I got some 1/4 pound of ham, diced, and a tablespoon of chopped garlic, 1 cup of chopped onions. This is white onions. You could use any kind of onions you want. 3/4 cup of green onions or scallion. In Louisiana, they call that green onions. All right. A cup of diced green pepper. And a cup of celery. Okay. I got a pound of okra, fresh okra. If you don't have fresh okra, you could use a frozen one. So the fresh okra, you trimmed off. This is what an okra looks like. It's something new to me I discovered when I first came again in this country. I mean, I discovered many things when I came here, you know. But those things are very good. I like the texture of it. So what we're going to do, we're going to trim the hand here. And we cut a little like this, little pieces about 1/4 inch, whatever, a little round like this. Okay, now we're going to put the okra right in here. We stir this. The next thing, we're going to put a cup of crushed tomatoes. In the summertime, you could use fresh tomatoes. You could remove the seed or make sure it's fresh and nice and ripe. 1 bay leaf, and it's got to be spicy. So we want some Worcestershire sauce. You put about half a teaspoon. Now the next thing with this, we're going to add to this, it's going to be 2.5 cups of shrimp broth that I got here. 2.5 cups, I got 3 cups here. We're going to reserve some, about half a cup later for what I'm going to use later on. Okay, it's about 3 cups. Very little salt because the sausages and the ham is very salty sometimes. All right, now we're going to cover this. We're going to cover this, and the next thing I have to do is a roux. What I'm going to do here, I have 1 tablespoon of oil and 2 tablespoons of flour, which I'm going to bind together, and we're going to brown it, a very light brown. But the roux, this is the way they do roux in Louisiana. My friend Paul Prudhomme showed me how to do it. So you keep stirring like this. Make sure I got some already made here. We made here. I got some right here, which is a light brown. Actually, you could see it. Now, I got this thing cooking. This should cook about 10 minutes that way. So I'm going to take some of that mixture, that sauce here, I'm going to put right in here, and later on, I'm going to bind it together like this, and this is going to bind the gumbo right in here. So I'm going to put this right in here, right in there, and again, we are going to cook this with the shrimp. So we have to taste this, make sure it's well seasoned. This is your base. Cook it for 10 minutes. Boy, it's hot just the right way. Okay, now I have one right here. And, oh, I forgot to say, when you put the shrimp, you put some lemon slice in here, which I have. So you put about 6 or 10 lemon slice. Cooking with the shrimp, cook it for 10 minutes. And, matter of fact, I'm going to put some in here because we are going to eat this one, I tell you. we're not going to throw away, so it's got to be done right. Okay? So, I have the shrimp. This has been cooking for 10 minutes. All I have to do now, I have to put some of the crab meat. This is nice lumps. You put it at the end, and we're going to stir that, bind it very slowly like this with a wood spatula. You cook it for about 2 minutes. We don't want to overcook the crab meat either. You know, in Louisiana they cook the shrimp 10 minutes, but in my personally maybe even longer. So I cut down the time. The real recipe, I think they smother it for a long time. This is why this recipe become Cuisine Rapide, because this dish is done very, very quickly. I know that in Louisiana they cook the roux for a long time, and a long time they they stir it, they cook it, but this I find doesn't make too much difference. Now make sure to remove the bay leaf, and now it's ready to be served. I have a serving. I'm going to show you what a serving looks like. So what I do here, I'm going to put about a good spoon of rice. You put as much as you want. And I'm going to put that gumbo right over like this. See? Some sauce. It's a good serving, believe me. I think it's enough for 2 people, but you know, if you're hungry, why not? Okay, that's my second crab meat and shrimp recipe. But before that I close, say goodbye to you, I'm going to test the shrimp. It's hot and very hot. I could barely eat it because it's so hot, not because of the spice. But that's the way it should be. Goodbye. See you soon in Cuisine Rapide.
Crab and shrimp gumbo, another spicy, delicious recipe from Pierre Franey's Cuisine Rapide.
Funding for Pierre Franey's Cuisine Rapide is made possible by Caroline Importers Limited, Teaneck, New Jersey. Pierre's quick and easy recipes from today's show, plus more than 250 others, are contained in this companion cookbook. 65 step-by-step line drawings guide you through Pierre's classic technique. To order this 384-page hardcover book, call 1-800-635-COOK. The cost is $22.50 plus $2 shipping and handling. Credit cards are accepted, or send your check to P.O. Box 37142, Omaha, Nebraska 68137.